just do some more fascial freeing with you today using a golf ball and using a roller. So it doesn't have to be a golf ball if you've not got one. You can use a tennis ball, or you can use quite a firm squash ball. They can be quite good too. So the first test we're going to do is actually a sit and reach. So just nice and steady, feet hip distance, and you're just going to sit back into it, just to your range, just to where you can, and just reach those arms forward like that. And again, just pay attention to how your body feels, any tension, any tightness coming through anywhere. If you notice it anywhere at all in your body, I'm actually noticing that my heels are actually lifting off the floor just a little bit this morning. Some tightness through my calves and actually through my hips too. So, first one is, you get your golf ball. And what you want to do is, you want to actually apply pressure down through the front part of your foot. Now, I'm not talking about the ball of your foot. The part I'm talking about is just where your arch is here. That's going to be called zone 1. And then from the middle of your arch to the back of your foot, that's going to be called zone 2. We're going to start off with the front part here. You're going to gently apply pressure down through that foot and just roll and move that roller around. Now I can feel that is quite tight and gunky. I'm just moving the golf ball but putting adequate pressure down through the front of my foot so I can actually feel it. And I found a point there that's really quite tender. I'm just going to apply pressure down and just gently breathe, relax, just breathe. Just try and release all that fascia off. If you tense and tighten, then the fascia will also do that because it will just respond to how your body's responding to it. So it's just important that you just breathe, try and relax. If you've never rolled your feet out before, this can be quite uncomfortable. So just bear that in mind. It should never be more than an 8 out of 10 in terms of how uncomfortable it actually feels. So just going to release that down and then just continue to roll. So just doing the first zone. So zone number 1 through the front part of that foot. Now, this is really another gunky bit there. I'm just going to hold that down. Just breathe, and actually, I can actually feel that now through the front of my toes. Breathe, 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 relax, and relax it off. Okay, just move your foot around just a little bit, and now you're going to go from the middle part to the back part of the arch. But you really want to move the ball through to this side of your foot, to the lateral aspect of your foot. Just move it around. Get a nice good feel for it. Put the ball in there. Oh, I've noticed another gunky bit there. And you'll feel it, right? And what you want to do is you want to apply pressure down, and it's uncomfortable, but then it should slowly start to dissipate as you apply the pressure for about 20 or 30 seconds. So just breathe. Relax into it, nice and steady, breathe through it. And you can do this in the morning if you want. It's quite good to get your feet rolled out through the day, before the day starts. And just breathe, just relax into it. Make sure you're putting adequate pressure down through the front of that foot and relax it off. And do a little bit of a walk. Okay, and see how you go. Do another sit and reach and see if you actually notice the difference between the foot you've actually rolled and the foot you actually haven't rolled yet. So sit down. I can feel it. In this side, it feels so much looser through the bottom of my foot. And then just do exactly the same thing on the other foot. So start off with the front part of the arch. So underneath where the ball of your foot is, you just start here, and we're going to call that one there zone number 1. You can see zone 1 through to the middle part of the arch up into the ball of your foot. So you just put that foot down, put some pressure through it. Move it around. Make sure you're putting adequate pressure down. You should feel something. Oh, I can feel a really gunky bit there. And then you just breathe. It's also good if you run a lot. If you do a lot of running, rolling your feet out can be really good for it. Breathe. Relax and breathe. slowly starts to dissipate, and then you go from the middle part to the back part of your foot. So from the middle part to the back part of your foot. Just roll it around a little bit. See if you can find any of those trigger points. I've just found one right there again. So just breathe and hold it there for about 20 to 30 seconds. Just keep on breathing. Feel that pressure through. Right into the lateral aspect. Once you've done that, give it a good roll around and then relax. Take a bit of a walk and do the sit and reach and see how you actually feel after doing that. And the next one I'm going to show you is how to release your lats off. Now don't forget, if you have tension and tightness through your upper back, it might not necessarily be your upper back that's causing it. It could be the front part of your body. It could be coming up through your feet. Everything is connected. So bear that in mind when you go, oh, I've got a really sore quad, I'm just going to roll my quad. Because it might not necessarily be that that's actually hurting. It could be the tension's coming through your hamstring. It could be it's coming up through your foot. So just bear that in mind, that it's good to give the whole body a once over and do all the different myofascial releases. This one I'm going to show you is for your lats. So the trigger point rollers I do find are the best, they're the most effective, but you can just use the normal blue roller if you've got one at home or you've got one in the gym. So what you want to do is, you want to lie onto your side. Okay, and the roller, we're going to start it off up into your armpit. So what you want to make sure you're actually doing is that the roller is actually sitting right underneath your armpit, but the pressure's going down through that big lat muscle that connects in through the back of your shoulder and to your rib cage. So all you're going to do is really gently just lift yourself up and just roll. Up and down. 2, just for 4, 3, 4. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go back for 4. 1, just nice and steady, get in the middle of the roller. 2, 3, 4. And I can feel that there, it's a little bit gunky, so I'm just going to hold and just breathe and relax through it for 20 seconds, and you should slowly start to feel that dissipate where the uncomfortable area is. Don't forget, never more than an 8 out of 10 again. 10 being the worst pain you've ever had. Nice and steady, breathe, relax, breathe, relax. Okay, now I'm going to go down just a little bit to the edge of that lat muscle, and just going to go up, nice and steady. 1, 2, feels really good today. 3, 4. Once you've done your 4, I'm going to roll back on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really good. I can just feel the difference now, one side to the other. Now, this isn't technically a mobiliser, but I do find it can be quite helpful after you've rolled your lats out. So what you want to do is just sit back into child's pose. You just want to stretch those arms nice and far forward. Just breathe. And you might want to just try and crawl that hand across. You feel it more on one side, and then crawl the hand back. And again, you crawl that hand across, meet the other side, big nice long stretch to your side body, and then crawl the hand back. And then you can sit up. Okay, and then we do exactly the same thing on the other side. So you're going to put the roller down, and you want to get it right up into your armpit, because that's where we're starting off. So into your armpit, nice and steady, and you're going to lift yourself up, just relax that arm down, and you're going to roll for 4. So make sure it's actually on the big belly muscle in your back and it's not going too far forward. You will feel it and you'll notice it rub across the belly of that muscle. 2, 3, side to side, 1. Oh, that feels really nice. And just because I felt a little bit of a point there, I'm just going to hold it, breathe and relax, and breathe and relax, breathe and relax, and then we carry on. 2, 3, 4, and then move it down a little bit, and you're going to roll up again. So exactly the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and side to side. 1, so you're just going to relax it back onto that lat muscle. It feels really nice. 2, 3, 4, and relax. Okay, and then do exactly the same thing for the other side. So you're going to walk the hands across into child's pose. So as you sit back into it, hands down, nice and steady. Just crawl that hand across. Feel that nice big stretch through that side body and back to the middle. And same again, feel that nice big stretch through that side body and back to the middle. And relax it off. You shouldn't feel that you've actually released off through the upper part of your back as well. I do recommend doing the chest. I'm not going to cover that in today's video, but rolling through your chest as well, especially if you sit at a desk, you'll sit with rounded shoulders like this when we're typing all day. When we sit at a desk, it's important to try and open up through that front part. Now the next one I'm going to show you is a really good tool if you're struggling with push-ups, or if you have you notice pains through your wrists. This one can help. Obviously if you have something medically wrong, then seek advice from your doctor first, but this roller of the wrist I have noticed has helped so many clients, especially for girls that can't actually put pressure down through the wrists and they struggle with pains through the front. I've managed to get people from their knees to their toes, push up in using this wrist roller exercise. So first of all, do a test push up. Now this is just to see and pay attention to how your body actually feels. If you can't do push-ups from your toes, then obviously just do it from your knees. If you can do it from your toes, then just obviously give it a try, see how you go. So you want to aim, don't forget you're pushing the ground away from you when you do the push-up. So nice flat straight back, and as you go down, push the ground and back up again. Okay, so if you need to go from your knees, exactly the same thing, the whole body comes down towards the ground, keep that back nice and straight. And you're pushing the ground away from you as you're keeping that body nice and straight, and push. Okay, so just pay attention to how that feels if you've got problems with your wrists. Now, we're going to start off, and I hope you can all see this. This roller has lots of different knobbles on it. Now, it's used as different parts of the hand, so it's just a really cheap way of getting a massage. I always recommend when you're doing your wrists to use the fingertip one, which is the knobbles. I'll see that. These knobbles, all these ones. That is ideally where you want your wrist to be. So when we start off, you're just going to gently start off where your hand joins into your wrist, okay? And you're just going to place pressure down, and you're going to actually hold on to your other wrist, okay? So you're going to place pressure down through the front of that wrist, and you're just going to roll. You're just going to go halfway up your arm, 1. All the pressure down is going through that wrist, 2. Relax this hand that's actually on the top, and you're just putting pressure down with the other hand. You're not tensing or tightening it at all. 3, 4. Now once you've done your 4, you get back to the mid part of where you've just rolled, and you go across 1, 2, 3, 4. And you just scrub through that fascia. And then we start mid part up into the where your elbow joins in. Okay, so we're going to go 4 again. 1. If you do quite a lot of typing, you can really feel this through that belly. And don't hesitate just to Rotate just a tiny bit through, and if you really feel like you're getting a trigger point there, then hold, breathe for 20 seconds. 2. Otherwise, nice and slow, nice and steady. You don't want to rush this. 3. 4. And then again, what we do is we get to the mid part of the second zone and we scrub. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't forget, it's important to keep that hand that's you're actually rolling the wrist for nice and relaxed the whole way through, because as soon as you tense that hand up, it tenses all the muscles and all the fascia all the way up through your forearm. I can even feel that, even though I don't have problems with my wrists, I can feel that that feels a lot freer. And then you go over to the other side and do exactly the same thing. So start off closest to your hand, roll up and down to the mid part of your forearm. 2. You do 4 rolls and then 4 scrubs. Side to side, nice and steady. If you find a point that's unbearable, that's a trigger point, never more than an 8 out of 10. Breathe and relax through it for 20 seconds and then move on. So 4 up and down rolls, 4 scrubs side to side, mid part, 4 up and down rolls, 4 scrubs side to side. If you've got any questions or you're unsure about any of these, or you found them really helpful, then please comment below or get in touch with me, Link Fitness PT.